Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Who Are You podcast, episode 193 of the Who Are You podcast. It's crazy to hear that number almost getting to 200. Super excited to sit down with our awesome guest that we have today. Make sure to give us a follow on all the social media. It's going to be at Who Are You Pod from everything from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. You guys know where to find us nowadays. Also, check out the YouTube channel as well. We've been super happy with the growth on YouTube, so thank you guys for checking us out on there, liking, giving us video ideas, all that good stuff. It's going to be at Who Are You Pod or Who Are You podcast. You guys be able to find it there. Got the wifey sitting next to us over here, as always. That's right. And then
you need to get like the fake
clap. That's right. Yep. And we are breaking a Who Are You history today. We officially have another Connor on the podcast.
What's up?
Yes, sir. Today we are sitting down with Connor McNally from the Jungle Beat podcast. Man, thank you for taking the time to sit with us.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
We appreciate it, man. And like I said, to meet another one who is a lover of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We were talking about DJ bets and everything before we got started here, and it's cool to hear everything, the motion you guys got going on around here in town.
Yeah, very exciting. Just coming from a business dinner, so we have some big things in the work. We won't share too much just yet, but we talked about it before the podcast. We have some really cool things, collaborating with different brands, some different creators. So really trying to build something big, for the Jacksonville community.
I love it, man. But before we get too far into the conversation, obviously with everything we're talking about there, please let everybody know where they can follow the podcast, the media company itself, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little confusing, but the big picture is Happy Hour Sports Media is the end-all be-all. So that's the parent company. We have different podcasts under that. So at Happy Hour Sports Media on Instagram and YouTube, that's the best place to go. Like and follow us there. And then we also have the Jungle Beat podcast, like you mentioned. Me and my boy Flash. We have a great Jaguars podcast. We also have a second Jaguars podcast, which is called the Prowler Hour.
That's right.
The Prowler Hour, which is Coach Ripley, Darian Harris, who from Chill Takes, I don't know if anybody knows from TikTok. And then also Schmitty, my guy, Schmitty too. So we're having fun first season, but we're slowly creeping up to being a little bit more credible.
Buddy, I think you guys have had a killer fucking first season, to be 100% honest with you.
I appreciate it.
I say you guys were sitting down with some guests, like we were talking about David Garrard you had on there, Jimmy Smith. When I saw Jimmy Smith on there, I was like, that's a throwback right there. I saw him on there. Who else have you met? You guys had Jimmy Smith, you guys had Mia O'Brien, someone I'm trying to get on the podcast. Mia hit me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Mia, she left me on red for like probably 4 months as we started building this thing, and I harassed her. So thankfully, we did have Jamal Saints here, who a big shout out to him because we had him on our second episode ever. He was awesome. We did a big preseason Jaguars show, and he was great. And he gave us a lot of credibility too, and kind of helped us build the channel. And we got me on with him, unfortunately before the Bills game. Well, fortunately, because it was a great episode, probably our best one ever, but we lost after that, so it was kind of a bummer. But we've had a couple of people on. We've had Jordan DeLugo from Gen Jag. We're having UCF Jaguar on in, I want to say next Wednesday maybe. I have to confirm that date, but he will be on. So we got a lot of great guests. Everybody in the Jaguars creator community has been super responsive and super, supportive, I guess, in what we're trying to build and kind of seeing the bigger picture.
Nah, man, I love it. Like I said, I've been aware of you guys for a while. We've followed and liked each other's stuff a couple times, all that stuff.
Yeah, big fan of you guys. Hey, by the way, what episode was it?
93.
We're on like 23, by the way. So huge shout out to you guys even getting close and staying this consistent, because that's a very tough thing to do. I was talking to you guys before the podcast too. We started out like in a very professional studio to our first like 2 podcasts. Then I went to my iPhone for 6, 7, 8 weeks, and we thankfully were able to get some sponsors and get back into the studio. But big shout out to you guys for doing this for so long and being able to stay consistent, because honestly, I feel like if you can do this consistently, that's where like a lot of the traction's going to come from. Oh
yeah, man. And we're not the biggest podcast in town. Like, we know that, but at the end of the day, it's been more of just the impact we've had and the people we've met.
Yeah.
We've had some really cool people on here. Like, I don't know if you're aware who Patrick Young is, right? For the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
Gentleman who unfortunately got paralyzed in a car accident and everything. He was a guy I watched growing up, and this year we had him on, and he was sitting in my apartment, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sitting across a legend
Yeah.
here. And it's been so cool, man. And we've also been able to sit down with, like, we mostly focus on business owners, obviously, entrepreneurs. We've had comedians, a mix of people on here, but just the stories that we've been able to tell and really, you know, break it down for some people, or whether it's mental health, whether it's, you know, people trying to promote their business and helping them find some extra eyeballs on there. It's been super fun.
Yeah, the podcasting space is really interesting. I was talking to a couple different business owners recently, and I'm like, you know, I feel bad for you guys because your industry is completely different than ours. You know, if you're in a podcast industry or media industry, really, like, if you're looking at it with the correct eyeballs, like, think about it this way. If we collab, you're going to get some of our fans. We're going to get some of your fans. And it's a very, like, cool ecosystem where it's a sharing, and the bigger you get, the bigger I get. Like, it's the best thing possible. But unfortunately, if you own like a real estate company, or you know, if you're a plumber in Jacksonville, there's probably like a million different plumbers in Jacksonville. So you're all competing against each other. But for us, if we have the right mindset, you know, if you grow, we help each other out. So it's a really cool industry to be in, and it's fun to see the amount of people that, again, going back to what you're saying, meeting different types of people, and it's just cool conversations. Like, we had David Garrard and Jimmy Smith on. I'm like, 4 months ago, I literally went to Publix the other day in Jax Beach, and I'm going into Publix, and I see this guy with like a Jaguars, you know, sweatshirt on. I'm like, it's like, oh, cool, shout out Jags, right? They just lost to the Bills, unfortunately, you know. And I'm walking in, I go, hey, I hear, hey, I go, what? And they got same guys yelling out to me. It's David Garrard.
Oh shit!
And if you told me 4 months ago David Garrard would recognize me at Publix and be calling me in to talk about the Jaguars, and be excited about it, I'd be like, dude, you're out of your mind. You know what I mean? So it was really cool to meet all these different types of people, and all the business owners that we've worked with so far have been super open. And like, listen, you guys know it too. Like, you were telling me you started on the couch. It's like, there's a square one, and when you meet other people that have success or have, you know, you've gone somewhere, you know, they're really open to helping new people out. And that's been the Jacksonville community has been really cool that way.
Yeah, man, that's the one thing I will say that's kind of changed around about Jacksonville, is that big part there is the collaborative part. And sometimes you run into especially through 193 episodes, we've run into some people who are not on the collaborative side. And
I feel you.
And at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, it used to be one of those things that would piss me off, and then I'm just like, we're people.
People are different.
Exactly. And some people are like, the social media spaces and their thing. And I mean, through watching y'all's podcast, and we were talking about OG Sessions, shout out the boys. Say them and everything. Watching other people's stuff pushes me harder to get better. Yeah. So, because I love y'all's setup where you have the multiple cameras and everything. And me and Shannon are in the process of starting to look at houses and everything. Yeah. And one room is going to be a built out studio like
That's
that.
Sick.
So, like, the 3 cameras, we want to have someone on the switcher, do all that kind of stuff. And we're just working with what we have now. But it will be cool. We're going to do a half and half room, half Who Are You, half DJ Bets.
Let's go.
So we can switch between and everything. But no, man, it's just super cool, and it's awesome how the Jacksonville community has accepted you guys, because that's something I have learned over time as well, where growing up here in town, everybody wants to move out of their hometown. No one wants to stay where they've been their whole life. And then I got to know more of my community. I was like, oh, Jacksonville is a really cool place, and all corners of Jacksonville there's something interesting. Definitely. And it's been fun, man. So to get into more about where the idea of the podcast came from, obviously you said you moved down here from Massachusetts and everything.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Were you a Patriots fan before this?
I was.
Okay, I was going to say.
I get a lot of shit because I'm a bit. I was just as diehard of a Jags fan as I am now. I was a diehard Patriots fan, and Red Sox, Celtics,
go Sox, go Celtics,
etc. So I get a lot of shit back home from family and friends. So it's fun. You know what I mean? I moved down here in 22. It was a great season to become a Jaguar fan with that, against the Chargers and all those comeback wins in the second half of the season.
We were there for that one. That was sick.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So yeah, I moved down from Massachusetts. Drove 18 hours straight, 4 a.m. to 8:30 at night or something. Was able to come down here, and what you were talking about, you're from Jax. I'm from Massachusetts, but I researched hard, by the way, like hardcore, looking for the best places, like bang for your buck in the entire country. I was willing to move wherever. And I chose Jacksonville. And it shocked me when I said it, too. And it shocks a lot of people when I tell them, too, because they're like, why would you choose Jacksonville out of all places? Like, especially people that grew up here. They're like, but you don't realize, I don't think, like, especially coming from Massachusetts or some other places, just like the quality of life, the weather, the people, like one thing I love about Jacksonville that I wouldn't have gotten from Miami or Orlando or Tampa was you're kind of southern Georgia.
Yeah.
So you still get that southern hospitality still in Jacksonville, even though you're in North Florida. But what's cool about that is no matter who, there's a lot of transplants here, but the people that do move down here have that. They acclimate, right? They assimilate to that same standard of being kind to each other and helping your neighbor out, and like I said, with all those business owners, like it's the same sort of vibe. Like everybody's willing to help each other out and has that kindness about them and that southern hospitality that you probably wouldn't get if you go to Miami.
Yeah,
No.
So it's very different. But yeah, I love Jax.
Yeah, man, it's a cool spot. And like what I do for a job, it's funny you brought up plumbers. I do HVAC.
Oh,
so
perfect.
That's my day job. And dealing with so many people throughout the day, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and stuff. And I'm always a yes sir, no ma'am kind of person.
Yeah.
And people get thrown off by that. They're like, that's Southern. They're like, oh, you're Southern boy. I was like, I mean, I'm here, but I was born from here. But no, man, it's cool that you chose Jax because and that's something I've learned more as well is Jacksonville does have a little bit of everything from everybody. You want to go to the beach, depending on where you live, 20, 30 minute drive, sometimes 10, 15 minute drive. I mean,
downtown, same thing.
Yeah.
Downtown's getting better. It's getting better.
It's
not there yet.
It's gonna next 5-10 years, like it's gonna be a completely different city.
Oh yeah. The new stadium's going to be sick. Just if they make it anywhere the way that the rendering looks, it's going to be crazy because my favorite stadium in the whole NFL is the Charger Stadium.
SoFi, yeah.
I think they have the sickest stadium. Every time they show the outside view of it, I'm like, damn, that place is sick. And then that's kind of what the Jags seem like they're kind of going in that range over there.
Yeah, and what's cool about that too, I came from a business meeting and we were talking about the people like Gateway Jags that are going to be building out like that Pearl Street where it's basically going to be like an open area. So there's a lot of stuff going on downtown that it used to be a joke, basically, like, hey, we're building downtown, but now don't tell anybody that lives not in Jacksonville because like you don't want your rent or anything to go up crazy or housing prices to go up crazy, but like trust me, in the next 5-10 years, it's going to be great to live here. It's already, but it's going to get better.
Exactly. We're kind of still that hidden gem, and I'm kind of comparing us to kind of like how Austin, Texas was during COVID time.
100%.
Like no one really talked about Austin, Texas. Then Rogan moved there, and then it just became the biggest, whether it was comedy scene or whether it was anybody who was trying to make content was going out there.
Yep.
You guys had Bobby Brown on your pod. I saw Bobby.
Bobby's good people.
Oh, yeah, good dude. And I think he's moving back to Jacksonville now as well, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And it'll be cool to have him back. But Jacksonville's that spot where I think whether it's content, whether it's music, whether it's restaurants, everything is kind of blowing up here where it's gonna basically burst, and then everybody's like, oh shit, Jacksonville is the place to be.
Exactly.
Which it already is anyways.
Yeah, for a lot of business owners too, if they have the right mindset, they're trying to, plant those flags now before it really gets too big.
Yeah. And I've been seeing that you guys do your podcast a lot over at Strings, by the way, as well.
Yeah, we have a great relationship with Strings. We haven't been doing it more recently. We moved back into the studio, but shout out to Strings in Jax Beach and in Springfield. Trevor over there has been unbelievable for us, hooking us up with the spot. And that's really where we built the core of our, podcast because we had no other place to go. I was talking about it earlier. We started out in the studio. We're super professional, but then we ran out of money.
Yeah, I get it.
So then I started shooting on my iPhone, and we were like, we need a place to set up somewhere. And Strings was super, open to the idea, and they've been helping us out. And I didn't bring the surfboard today, but we have all the players.
I
and
saw
our
the
guests
signatures, man.
Sign it, and they helped us get a lot of players. Like usually it's like VIP there, and they've kind of snuck us in with the VIPs and allow us to meet, Bretton Strange, Parker Washington, ETN, like Devin Lloyd for you. You can go on and on and on with all the guys that signed the board. So very big shout out to Strings Brewery, which we still drink their beer mostly on the podcast too. So we still try to stay true to who we are.
I like it, man. I would say it's a cool thing. We actually went to a Chip Shot the other night, the new Chip Shot.
How is it? I walked inside it. I didn't actually play there. I went, me and my girl, we usually go to Jarbo Park for pickleball. But how was it there?
So we went there for the golf simulator.
Cool.
Bunch of my buddies we're all like golfers on the weekends, every weekend warriors.
I wish I was good at golf.
Oh, I'm not good.
We're not good.
I didn't say that part.
Here's what I would say. My best friend and my dad are massive golf fans and like really good for their ages. And I try to be good since I was like 8.
Really? You play that long?
Suck.
Yeah.
So I wish I was at least competent and could keep it in. If I can keep it within the trees, I'm having a great day.
That's me too, bud.
But
were you consistently playing since 8, or
off and on?
I will say I tried as hard as I could. It wasn't good. My dad literally, he's like 70 years old now, and he goes chips and putts every day for like multiple hours of the day, and hits driving range, and
that's how I'm trying to be.
I would go with him, and it would be like, nah.
My uncle's a really big golfer. My cousin, so he started when he was, I think, 2 or 4 years old, right?
Okay.
So he went to Georgetown on a golf scholarship.
Wow. Okay.
And my uncle's retired now. They're going golfing, every other day.
Yep.
Even it's like crazy.
And she's talking about us going golf with them. I was like, I don't think like they're gonna look down on me as a man.
Well, that's my thing. I'm like, dude, like all these. Again, my dad and my best friend are like awesome at golf, and I suck so bad. So it's like I would love to go out with you guys, but I'm gonna be MFing the entire time, and I'm gonna be losing 20 balls. It's like I might as well not go, unfortunately.
You'd probably do better than us, honestly.
Well, we've been getting better. Give us some credit,
I do
woman.
need to practice at least.
Better.
I think living in North Florida, like in Jacksonville, is like basically one of the golf capitals.
It's a mecca over here. Yeah.
So we, by the way, we do have a golf podcast coming out soon.
Oh shit!
So that's gonna be a good one. We're trying to get to TPC and get credentialed, hopefully in time.
I like it.
I do need to just practice more. Hopefully.
I get it. And like I say, the way I started golfing is before I worked in HVAC, I did pest control for years. So and we dealt with one of the bigger rental companies here in town called JWB. They own half of freaking Jacksonville with all their rental houses.
Okay.
And I went to one of their houses that ended up getting abandoned. The renters just left them high and dry and everything. And I found a full bag of tailor-made golf clubs in there. And I called them up. I was like, hey, do you guys want that? They're like, take it. I was like, oh, nice. Okay. And my buddies had already started going. I just wasn't going to invest $4,000 of golf clubs or like go really look around if it wasn't something free.
Yeah.
And then got into it, man. And just like a bug, it bit me. And just been we go probably every Saturday, most Saturdays. Nice. Got her own bag last year as well. And she's really gotten into it. And then for me, man, it's just as I've become more of an adult, as you get older, what kind of keeps your attention for 4 hours besides football? Yeah. Like there's really not much for $60.
Yeah, no,
it's kind of hard.
Golf is a great sport because obviously, think about the longevity. Like, are you going to play basketball or all these other sports? You know what I mean? Until you're 70, 80 years old, you can play golf. You know what I mean? So it's literally a lifetime of hobby that you can have. And again, I need to pick up the clubs a little bit more.
But and the other thing I've used it for is business. Go out there, you get, say.
Well, that's why I'm saying I don't want to bring anybody out there for business, and they'll be like, I'm not working with them.
That's when you give them a couple fireball shooters, and they forget about the bad golf game. But no, man, I love it. So to get into a little bit more of your backstory, right? Sure. So what were you like as a kid, man? Were you an athlete, or were you always into sports? Were you into other things, say middle school, high school age? What were you into?
I was always into sports. I wouldn't say I was the best at sports, but I would say, I was big, huge. Sports have been a big part of my entire life. Like I mentioned before too, I worked in corporate America for the last 10 years, making decent money, but at the end of the day, I found out, is this what I want to do my entire life? Am I waking up motivated to do this? Am I excited? It's like, you get to, we talked about age, I'm 30 years old, I got to 30, I'm like, all right, I got a stable job. I'm making decent money. I'm living in Florida. I was like, should I change everything? And I was like, well, listen, I'm going to take the risk. And I met a lot of cool people, done a lot of cool things. A lot of people look at me sideways, even back home. But even going forward, I think the opportunity to do what you love. Here's the thing. You could work 10 hours in a job that you don't like and be burnt out. Or, now what I'm doing is, I'm working on my own projects and things like that. And I could do this all day long, and I get energy from it. So it's really cool. But yeah, to answer your question about sports, it's been a big part of my life since I was, I don't know, as old as I can remember. You know, I was 5 years old, basketball, football, you know, going forward to play lacrosse in high school. So, you know, all those little things. But yeah, football is definitely my love. So I was like, let's try this.
I get it, man. Say football was my first love of sport, and then like going into high school, I was like 240 pounds at that time, so I was not like muscle; it was more just a heavier set dude.
Okay.
And then towards my junior year, I dropped down to 180. Very quickly, just, you know, puberty hit. I was already 6'4" at that time when going into high school.
Yep.
And it just got to the point where I had gotten so thin, and I played tight end at that time. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and just get killed by these guys. I was like, there's dudes. We had some guys who went and played for Ole Miss. We had Chris Jones, who ended up playing for a couple teams in the NFL. I think he's in the Canadian Football League.
Yep.
There's just dudes on there that were just going to murder me. They were grown ass men.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, Jacksonville for high school football is a hotbed too, like college football and high school football. Obviously, you know, Jags are here too, but in Massachusetts, I played with one NFL player, Richard. Man, now I'm gonna mess it up. Rodriguez.
Ramirez? Rogers. Okay.
He was a tight end for the Packers. I don't remember if you remember it was a while ago, but when Aaron Rodgers was playing for the Packers and he threw that Hail Mary in Detroit.
Oh,
and the tight end that ended up catching it at the end. That's I played. Against,
I think I do remember.
I played against him in high school, and he had legs literally this big, and he was the fastest player out there. So, but yeah, not a ton of talent in Massachusetts for professional football, but that's the one that I came across.
Hey, I get it.
And I've been the same size the whole time. So
I feel you.
It's literally that. I think that's been my one caveat, not being good at sports. I've been 5'8", like, since I was in 6th grade. Never grew.
I get it, man. To be honest, like, people always say, "Oh, isn't it so nice being tall?" I'm like, my body hurts. Also, I've worked in trade for a lot of my life as well. I was like, my body's broken down after playing sports and everything. But like, even other people that have been produced out of Jacksonville, can you imagine going and trying to tackle Derrick Henry in high school when he's basically the same size he is damn near now? I could not imagine.
There's been some weapons. Talking about Patriots too. Pop Douglas. You know, he's on the Patriots, caught a touchdown in the last playoff game. He's from Duval too.
I actually didn't know that. And I mean, we're throwing quarterbacks out there. Obviously, Carson Beck, who just Miami
championship. Yep.
Who else was out there? There was a couple other quarterbacks. I mean, we have a wide receiver from Mandarin coming out as soon as well.
Bryson.
What is his last
Bryson,
name?
Right?
Yeah, I think so. He won the 6-on-6, just like no tackle tournaments. What else? Obviously at Mandarin, he is a freaking star over there as well. It's just Jacksonville is a hotbed. A lot of people like to say like Jacksonville's not a football place. A lot of people say it's like basketball and a mix of things.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either. I would say like I've seen guys come out and they're bigger than me, way more ripped and everything, and it's just like, damn, dude, how are you in high school?
Yeah, one of the things we're trying to work on for next season is so do you remember the MTV show Two-A-Days?
I don't think I do.
No? Or like Hard Knocks from the NFL. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to come up with something with high school football with like Mandarin, you know, who are the other ones too? Mandarin Nice, Bishop Kenny, maybe.
So the bigger boys in town, the bigger
basically the bigger programs. Reigns, obviously, they just won the state championship. We're trying to do the same thing, but basically like an in-season documentary / like reality TV show.
That's pretty cool
for Jacksonville high school football too.
Do you know? Who, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, who's Reek?
Yeah. Do you know who Reek Bentley is? You ever heard that?
No.
He is a amazing videographer, photographer, and the linebacker coach for Atlantic Coast High School.
Oh, wow. Definitely need his contact.
Yeah, I got you. I'll put him. I'll put you guys in contact.
Yeah.
He does amazing work, and that's kind of what he does is the mix of that kind of stuff. He goes out and helps basically promote the kids that are at his high school.
Yeah.
And he does all kinds of work for all kinds of businesses around town. And he also is a part of the Jacksonville Run Club.
Perfect.
So I think.
Oh no, I do know. I know of him. I don't know him personally.
Exactly.
I've seen him on social media though.
Great guy. We had him on, and amazing dude, but also is like super big on everything that you just talked about there. Before we get done here today, I'll make sure I give you his contact info.
Yeah. I've seen him around. I'm putting 2 and 2 together now.
Yeah, I think like his main thing, like you said, it's all about the kids and like support, like making them feel like they're the stars, you know?
Building. I mean, listen, nowadays with like NIL and stuff, like building people up and the recruiting and the hype and the there's so much noise out there that like we just talked about how big, how many stars came out of, Jacksonville, and it's trying to help them, like help the community, help these kids break through and get seen. You know what I mean? That's mostly why we're trying to do it.
No, I like it, man. I think Reek would be the perfect dude about it because like that he's basically helping these guys get more stars as they keep on going up. Because as you said, man, some of these kids are 18 years old and go make $2 million on a contract. I was like, if that was around during my time, I would
be training day.
I would have.
I don't know if I would made it, but yeah.
I don't know if I would have made it or anything, but shit, I would have gone a lot harder on that at that time because back in those days, obviously,
scholarship,
go get your education. Yeah, you get your education. You're not going to class, but you're basically just being the athlete while everybody else is making billions off you. So, so when it comes to obviously you're getting into this, obviously you like sports, all that kind of stuff growing up. Then moving to Jacksonville, starting the podcast. What was probably the hardest thing for you to start the podcast? Because obviously I know money is probably a part of it with the way you guys did your setup. Very professional and always looks good. What would you say was it more like maybe learn how to really interview someone? Because that was something that took me some time was to not ask the same questions over and over again. Yeah. Kind of read what they're feeling. Some people aren't very talkative and other people are.
Man, that's a good question. I mean, personally, is talking over people. Like I interrupt everybody all the time, and it's one of my worst habits. So I would say that as like a personal thing. As far as like the overall project and the overall like podcast, I mean, it took us a while to find a couple sponsors, but honestly, like they came to us more than we came to them, which was unbelievable. But that's also being out at Strings and being out in the community and have that more visibility, and that helped us because people were just like curious, and then they saw the product, and they people sat around and listened, and they're like, hey, we'd like to invest in you guys. So that's helped us out. Man, I would say, I don't know. I would like to say consistency, like being able to just come do it but we have fun doing it. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I would say, again, the only thing I could give you really would be like personally is like talking over people. And the interviewing thing and saying the same thing. It's like you talk so much. Like thankfully we only do, now I do 2 podcasts a week, but
I feel you.
So saying the same things or the ahs and all that kind of thing is tough too. But listen, I'm giving myself a little grace because, like, honestly, I know there's like that 10,000 hour rule. Like, once you guys have been doing this for a very long time, so like you're used to like iterating and getting better, and it just takes reps. Honestly.
100%.
Yeah.
No, you can ask her. I'll hear myself. What's one of my catchphrases? I'll say it 10,000 times during an interview, and I'm sitting there editing, and I want to throw my headphones. I'm just like, Connor, stop. Stop saying that over and over again.
Yeah, my voice is very annoying. I hope I don't know how anybody else hears it and continues to listen, but thank you.
I'm the same way.
I don't like my own voice. What's the other one?
I feel like I sound like Kermit the Frog. That's why I always tell people. I don't know why. It's like close. It's like in between Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And like literally Kermit, and I'm sitting there, I'm just like, ugh. But it's one of those things you just get used to over time. And after editing for so long, I'm just like, all right, this is just how I fucking sound. I guess it is what it is.
Yeah, no, yeah. Listen, I'm having a lot of fun doing what I'm doing, so it's hard to really put a finger on it.
No, I get it, man. And when it comes to like finding sponsors and everything, that's cool that you guys have that visibility as well, because that's something that me and her have kind of planned on doing this next year as well. We used to do, the podcast used to be mobile, so we used to go to the businesses that we would sit down with, and it just got to the point with my work schedule, with everything else, man, it gets hard because some days I'm working till 7, other days I'm working till 2. It just depends on what's going on. So we tried to make it more central time, and then like we talk about like 6:30, 6:45, whatever it is. It just works best in our schedule, and having everything already set up here, I can move stuff around here and just not quite as hard, but it will be something in the future that I probably want to get back out more with, like the little DJI mics, go out there and talk to people more.
Man, I would like to say, like, listen, I'm not one to give you guys advice. You've been doing it longer than I have.
You're fine. We love it.
I'm just going to say, like, there is something to be said for having a spot that you don't have to change anything. Like, that the studio that we've had recently, it's just nice to go in, go out. Like, you don't have to worry about packing stuff up and taking it with you or breaking stuff down. So that's been nice. But also the visibility piece is very important, too. Like, especially starting out brand new, like it's going to these popular places where people see you. it also helps you out. You know what I mean? So it's a tough call. Like we still, even though we do it in studio, we do have a plan for next year to have a rotation, different breweries.
I like it.
And bars. You know, we had something set up with Pete's and Lemon Bar.
That's sick. That'd be sick.
That we didn't end up doing for like pregame shows, but we're gonna be kind of changing things up. But yeah, like I would say it's still. I'd say you should have a mix.
Yeah,
I would say that would be probably the best advice I could give, just off what the feedback we've gotten.
No, man. Like I said, I've loved seeing it. I'm like watching your videos. I love just the background, and it's different, right? It brings a little fluidity to everything, changing it up. With us currently, we throw the Jack sign over the "Who are you?" and then we've added like the flags and stuff. Yep. But just adding different things, different pieces, and everything that you see here. Like this was a local artist here in town. Nice. Custom shoes. That was like another guy that gifted that to us whenever we came.
That's awesome.
Or they came on the pod and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, if you
I'm a big props guy too.
Same.
So I think the little things matter.
100%.
Yeah. I was to say, if you came after this next weekend, we would have a huge fantasy football trophy with my name on it.
Good stuff.
She did. She won this year. Shannon. She beat me of some bullshit. It was
how many teams though? 8, 12?
I think 10. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
No, she did. No, she killed it. This is her third year in, and she did very well. And we have a very competitive. It's our basically family member. What's up?
No, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. It's like family members and friends, and then just basically I have a group of buddies I've known for 20 years, like my whole life.
Yeah.
So we're all in it and just get into it, shit talking, and every year, you get your name on the trophy as well as your team name. And she ended up winning because Derrick Henry didn't do shit all fucking year, and he goes off for a 4-touchdown game. And I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm like,
kidding me?
And this, I had Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yep.
Jameer Gibbs got me 6 fucking points. That made me want to break my phone in half. And then I think that was also the game that Jordan Love got taken out in a freaking concussion protocol.
My God.
But see, you need to not be as mad because you were lucky to be in the playoffs.
I was lucky.
How the game with Nolan went.
Not the playoffs.
Or the finale, championship.
The week before, I was down, or I was up by 10 points, and my buddies had Lamar when he got that knee, or not the knee into the back. When he got that contusion, I won by 4 points.
Wow.
It's like we were all expecting 100% it was going to be Nolan going again in, and he got lucky.
Yeah.
Fantasy football for me is tough because I have fun playing it, but I'm obsessive with a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I spend way too much time on it, and I always lose. So it's like
Same.
It's kind of a net zero for everything. So this year, especially with what we're doing with the podcast, and like I go through the games like multiple times and stuff like that. So it's been tough. So I wanted to play fantasy just for like the entertainment side of it with friends and stuff like that, but I was like, man, I do enjoy watching the full games. I think, like it's two different mindsets. Like if you play fantasy, like when you're watching it's really cool for Red Zone. It keeps you entertained most of the day. But also, if you're watching just for you can get really bored this way if it's a bad game too. But just for the fact of watching the game, sometimes it's even better. But I think I'm going to play fantasy. End up going next year anyways.
Oh yeah.
At least I'm going to start betting more, I think.
Well, that's
what's going to keep it most entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, if you want to get pissed off, betting will get you there. There was so many games this year. It was just one leg, and it was always the Jags on a couple of them. Yeah. But no, I mean
that's your issue. I lost a lot of money, or not a lot of money, but I lost a good chance of getting a lot of money by betting the Jaguars in 2023 against the Titans to get into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Lost in Tennessee.
Yep.
I had a really nice laid out parlay. It was my first time ever actually really betting for real. Mm-hmm. And I was in Boston, and I had like a 6 or 7 leg parlay. And the very last game was fucking Jags. All they had to do was beat Tennessee to go into the playoffs. And I knew I shouldn't beat that, because I knew it was a jinx. Mm-hmm. And they lost. So didn't get anything.
Nah, man. And that's what we do. So like each week on DGen, we do like a anytime touchdown parlay, like usually around 4 legs, and then we do a money line parlay. Mm-hmm. My boy Nolan, who's the other co-host on the DGen bets, he goes into like spreads and all that, which I like spreads, but I also like just straight up
money lines. My thing.
That's my style as well.
Over unders isn't terrible either. Like some games I can kind of tell, like if it like what I was talking about back then was like it was Carolina was playing, Tampa, and both offenses sucked. I was like, this is the under, and it was definitely an under during that game. So I was like, okay. But yeah, money line, I'd rather just heads up.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. And obviously with this Jags season, I will give Shannon some other credit. So after we lost to Houston, we were sitting down with ET from 1010XL.
Yeah, shout out ET.
Shout out ET. And Shannon actually
What
called.
was our record?
At that time we were what?
4-5 or 5-4.
I don't remember. It was middle of the season. I'm trying to remember. I think we had only lost 2 or 3 games at that time, if I remember correctly. And that was the time where basically Jacksonville was on fire. Everybody was like getting pissed off with Lawrence and everything. Yeah. She ended up calling saying we would win out. Me and ET laughed at her. Like we straight up were like, "Oh, you're fucking excited," and everything. And she was right, man. Even though it was a tough loss to the Bills, I don't understand how Josh Allen tears his ACL, basically breaks his finger and has a broken foot, and still gets that 10-yard push on that last second thing. What were your reactions to that? Obviously, I know you guys were watching that game closely.
Yeah, I was I wouldn't say over optimistic. I underestimated the Bills a little bit.
I did too.
I knew Josh Allen was gonna get his, but I didn't realize how good their defense was. We shut down the run game, which we predicted on our show too. Man, it's one of those things where you want to point fingers in that game, but at the end of the day, it's like it was just a good game, close, even playoff football game. It's like you want to be pissed off at somebody, but at the end of the day, it's like they just kind of made 1 or 2 more plays than you did, and there's nothing you can really do about it. And it really sucks because I feel like this team was the most well-rounded team that we've had. I mean, you could say it's since 2017. I mean, 17 even was a dominant defense and just a good run game.
Jacksonville.
You know what I mean? So, but I felt like this team had the opportunity to go deeper, even though that team went to the AFC Championship game, which, I mean, I thought we could have gotten to the Super Bowl.
That was heartbreaker one, too.
Because we beat Denver, handedly. I thought if we could beat Buffalo, we could easily. I thought, New England, even though I'm from there, is a paper tiger. Like, I thought we could beat them at New England. I wasn't really scared. I wanted to play Houston.
Yeah.
I really wanted to play Houston and get our lick back. I wanted to play, the Rams and get our lick back in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But overall, it was a really successful season. You know what I mean? You got to think, where we started the season and where we ended it. We were 4-13 this time last year. We just went 13-4.
Exactly.
Like, it's kind of hard to be mad about it. Like, there's now the expectation has risen. You know what I mean? Where, a first round playoff, loss isn't really going to do it. Now they're going to get a little bit of flack if that happens next year. But so it was a disappointing season or end to the season, but it was an unbelievable, great season, from where we did start.
No, I agree with you, man. And for being a lifelong Jags fan, this was the most confident I felt this year.
Yeah.
And Bills Mafia came after me this year.
Yeah.
I posted the DJ Betts clip basically saying, "Look at here, motherfuckers. We're going to beat the dog shit out of fucking Buffalo."
Yeah. I think, what did Flash say? I forget exactly the word, the verbatim, but we're basically we went out. We're like, we're not scared of you. Like, it's not gonna we're worried on bigger and better things. You know what I mean? And we end up losing. So yeah, we end up getting shit. I will say, Bills fans, at least the ones that I met there at the tailgate, they were super cool too. Like, it's not like the Eagles or another fan bases or the Texans. Like, I'm not really. Listen, I was rooting for them to hopefully, get over the hump finally with Josh Allen. But yeah, I wish it was us. You know what I mean?
I do too, man. But there was so many good things this year. I feel like this was the first year I've seen Lawrence actually comfortable.
Yeah.
Obviously, there are some times where he's good for one interception that you're looking at like, why did that just happen? Why did you throw that? But Parker Washington was unlocked this year. Mm-hmm. Our wide receiver room is stacked. I personally, this is hot take, I think we can get rid of BTJ personally. That's just me. That's just me personally. I know that's a weird take. I just don't feel like he's fitting with us. Or in the beginning of the season, I'm sure as everybody talked about, he's scared to get hit. And we can't have that as a wide receiver getting paid that much money.
BTJ is a interesting player for us. I think here's the issue. He did, and I think rightfully so, got a lot of flack in the beginning of the season. I did think he played decent, especially once Jacoby came in. Jacoby Myers, once we got him, then everybody kind of fit in their right niche. Like, Jacoby was able to come and make those big catches over the middle on third downs. It's kind of like a bread and butter play. BT could be more of the outside, deep threat guy. Parker and Strange and ETN can all kind of work underneath. So listen, I think if Jacoby, if you listen to James Gladstone, he's always talking about raising the floor about his team. If Jacoby Myers is the floor, BTJ's the ceiling. And if you get anything close to what BTJ was his rookie year, the offense is going to be top 3, top 5 in the league easily for the next. And he's on a rookie deal. You don't trade a guy that had 1,400 yards in his first season on a rookie. Like, if you look at the trade deadline when I kept retweeting every fan's reaction asking for their team to go get BTJ. When we were, as Jaguar fans, so down on him at the trade deadline, the Bills, the Steelers, like there's literally 10, 15, 20 teams that were asking for their team to trade for BT. And I was hitting the retweet on all of them, showing our fan base, like, listen, he's talented. Everybody knows he's talented. He's struggling. Listen, look at all Lad McConkey, Roma Dunze. Look at all these other second-year wide receivers. They didn't have as good a year as they did as their rookie year. So I'm not worried about BTJ at all. Trevor was an interesting year. This is definitely his biggest year, his prove-it year. We were so wishy-washy, even all the way up until, some people were wishy-washy up until the Texans-Chargers game. It was a little bit of a roller coaster, but he finished the season super strong, just like he did in 22. I think he's definitely the guy going forward. I think he kind of erased the whole conversation of whether or not he finished in the MVP voting twice, and it's very similar to the 22 season as well. So, yeah, Trevor's the guy. I think keep BT as well.
Yeah, and all of this was also done without Travis Hunter, which was even the crazier thing.
Yeah.
And that's another question I've been thinking about. Like, obviously, I know they want, like Gladstone himself has said that he's going to be playing both sides. Like, we get that. It's just, it's going to be interesting to see because as a cornerback, like, obviously in college he was great. And then he came to the NFL, and I feel like he was getting burned a little bit a couple times. Yeah. But then he was making great plays here and there. Just like, obviously, playing cornerback, I never played that position, so I can only imagine what it is like to try to guess where someone's going to go.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be more of an offensive threat, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But maybe he comes out next season. He's been a second year in the NFL now. He's had the offseason to really train and get under NFL coaches, and maybe he's great on both sides. I'm very interested to see what kind of packages, what they put him into next year, and see how he can do.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue Travis Hunter has is the same issue that Trevor Lawrence has. It's the expectation of being called a generational prospect.
Of course.
So the reason everybody, even especially nationally, but also locally too, is people were so polarizing, or when it came to their takes on Trevor Lawrence, is because he had that super high expectation of being the greatest prospect ever.
The prince that was promised.
Andrew Luck, John, like all these guys. Listen, he had flaws in his game coming out of college. And by the way, so doesn't Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter's a super raw athlete. He's a freak athlete. Yep. He's a great talent. He's got the perfect head on his shoulders. He's a great kid. He's got the right mindset. But number one, he's got to gain 10 to 12 healthy pounds.
He has to get heavier.
To play physical, especially on defense. You can hide it on offense. You can't hide it on defense. And I felt like, when you play, like a Nico Collins against the Texans, like he's got to be able to body these guys, not just kind of stay with them. I thought he's shown flashes, just like Trevor's shown flashes early in his career. I think you have to be patient with him though, because I think if you think he's going to be a Patrick Surtain or Derek Stingley or like a number one shutdown quarter next year, I think you're fooling yourself.
I agree with you.
And it's no shade to Travis. I think he's gonna get there eventually, but you have to be patient with him, and he has to have. He was hurt, so he couldn't really get any quality reps in. Similar to like when Trevor went down too. So it's going to be you have to be really patient with Travis, and I don't think enough people in Jacksonville will have that long enough leash or runway for him to do so, because I think by the end of next season he'll start playing really well, but I think in the middle or early parts you're going to be like, should we have stayed at 5? Should it be T-Mac? Should it be somebody else? But I think eventually he'll come around just like Trevor did and be a superstar.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's one of the more, just like you were saying, give him time, because he's in a very interesting position on playing both sides. That's the main thing, and that's something that me and Shannon have talked about, me and Nolan, my co-host on the other one, and it's going to be interesting to see what Cohen does, and obviously with us getting most likely losing our OC and our DC this year, most likely, maybe not, depending if we can keep them.
I think we probably lose one.
I think Campanelli's leave.
I would like to keep Camp more than I'd like to keep Udensky, even though I think the opposite's going to happen. But yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because this was one of the best defense, and obviously having Lucan and Lloyd was my favorite. If I can give an MVP to anybody on the team this year, to watch that man pick off Patrick Mahomes there at the basically 2-yard line and read and know what was about to happen. He knew that play was coming.
Yeah, that stadium. I was at the Chiefs game, and that was the loudest I've ever heard this stadium.
Was it?
I would say. I mean, there's been 3. I mean, as a Jaguars fan, fairly new, but still. But in 22 at the end of the Titans game, the play-in game.
Yep.
When Foye had a tackle for on 4th down or whatever it was, that was a huge pop. What was the other one that I was going to say? Maybe the Chargers game. But I think that Kansas City, that pick 6 by Devin Lloyd, like that was the loudest I've ever heard it.
Me and her were sitting right there on that couch over there. Yeah. I was losing I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And the loudest I've ever been to is that Chargers game.
Yeah.
Me and her went there, and we're sitting there freezing our asses off up top there. And we have a guy in front of us, a Chargers fan. The 4 interceptions, everything. He's like, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, bud. And we kicked that field goal. I was like, or no, was it a field goal or a touchdown before halftime? I think it was a touchdown, maybe. You're right.
To Ingram, yeah.
Yeah, so I was sitting there, I was like, all right, we got 1. I was like, we're not dead. That's something there. And then we watched, obviously, we're there the whole game. I have a video of her. She's like, holy shit. And like, we're all losing our minds. And I was doing the 1, 2, 3 back to the guy. We dapped up at the end of the game.
That's so funny.
I was like, and just feeling the energy. That's one of those things. Obviously, you felt that at the Chiefs game on the trip 6. That was my favorite play all season there, too.
Yeah.
But just feeling the energy of the city. And Jacksonville's a different place when the team's good. That's something I've been talking about, just the feeling in general.
Everybody across the country forgets Florida Gators, Georgia Bulldogs, Florida State Seminoles, and some Canes fans all live in Jacksonville. God forbid we get a good team. We are on your ass as a fan base. So it's just one of those things you don't realize if you're not from around here. Like those are hardcore. Like I'm pretty sure the Swamp is like the loudest stadium in college football. I mean, or if not real close up there.
One of the top.
Same thing with Georgia. So it's like, and Florida State. So it's like, listen, we have a budding fan base here that's going to be growing, as the team gets better. Listen, I mean, outside of Cleveland does a good job still filling their stadium after like 80 years of awful football. But for any other organization, if you have bad teams, fans aren't going to show up. I was a Patriot fan, and when we were on our dynasty, packed house, super loud, and then Brady left and Belichick wasn't good, and we didn't have good enough players. They were having a hard time selling seats.
I don't feel bad. I'm going to cut you off there. I don't feel bad for Patriots fans.
No,
not at all.
I agree with you, but also my point is, even that franchise, once you're not playing well, fans aren't going to show up.
Farewell fans. So
that's what you got to think, like, that's going to happen in any fan base. Never mind the 30-second small market team in Jacksonville. You know what I mean? So it's just something you got to keep in perspective.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite thing. I love that small market comment.
Yeah.
And the thing that I really loved about Cohen as well is he was fiery. Like that Robert Saleh situation. Yeah. I love.
I see him twice a year now.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. I love it. That's what I want my coach to be, because all our coaches before were these old dudes that obviously when Peterson came in, his first 2 seasons, we had a little something there.
Yeah.
But it's just, I feel like that's the change in the NFL is these young head coaches. Like, look at the coaching tree that came out of Washington. Obviously, I think,
the Shanahan.
Yeah,
McVay,
Shanahan. Thank you.
McDaniel, yeah.
All of them came in and really kind of changed things around as younger coaches. New perspective. And I think that's where Gladstone comes in as well. The little young boy genius, as people are calling him. But it's cool to see a new perspective. And we're seeing an actual shift in the NFL. It's not the same old little dink and dunk shit. Now it's a lot more of these guys are coming up with plays that we've never seen before. And when I'm watching the Jags play, I don't know what play's about to happen. If it's 3rd and 5, I'm not thinking they're going to throw a 1-yard pass to the sideline there and not get the first down. Now I'm like, okay, they're actually keeping us on our toes here, seeing what we can do.
Yeah, Liam's been a really pleasant surprise. Like, listen, I think everybody here, for most part, wanted Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
In the offseason. And we didn't get him because Balky wasn't going to leave. And then Shad finally fired Balky because he was going to lose out on Liam. And even when we got Liam, I was like, listen, like, you could get an offensive coordinator in this league. Like, there's a dime a dozen. Like, there's so many different guys that got hired because they could call plays, but they couldn't be a CEO. They couldn't be a leader of men. They couldn't motivate and press the right buttons. And that was the biggest thing or question mark I had for Liam. And Liam, that was arguably the best thing he did was motivate guys and push buttons. And he did it in different ways. And, I went to string. We were talking about strings earlier. I went to strings in Jack's Beach when he did the, I think it was Action Sports Jags.
Oh, yeah, recently? Yeah.
And the cameras cut off because he finished doing the interview with them. And I was right at the window, and he goes, "Hey, is this mic? Can it stay on?" And they go, "Yeah," because the place was packed. And he turned around to the fan. The cameras are off. Nobody's watching him. He turns around and talks to the fans for like 90 seconds about how grateful he is that
That's awesome.
you guys showed up this year, and just like praising them and like, hey, we had a disappointing end of the season, but we're gonna come back and work harder next year. It's like you don't realize that the type of the quality of person and this intangibly rich thing when they were talking about in the offseason was like a joke. Like, okay, yeah, big words, like, you know what I mean? Like, but it's a real thing in that building. Like, these guys are great dudes. And Liam Cohen is a great dude. And he's different than a lot, like what you're talking about, like these older head coaches used to be like, do it my way or the highway. Like, I'm a drill sergeant, and that's how I'm going to motivate the team, and you'll run through the wall for me that way. Like, Liam, these players can't wait. They want to play for him so bad, and you saw the energy and the effort pick up this year on both sides of the field because people just don't want to let him down because he puts this belief in these players. He puts this like, hey, listen, like you saw it with Cam Little when he was missing all those field goals. Nah, that's our guy. We know what he can do. Next week came out and kicked a record-breaking field goal, and he went on a big stretch. Now he missed the last kick. But other than that, he was unbelievable all season.
Yeah.
And you saw the same thing with Trevor. Like, Trevor Lawrence is chill. Liam Cohen is a roller coaster of emotions, and it's a perfect marriage because the biggest thing Trevor Lawrence was missing in his game was confidence and that edge. Like, we saw the flashes of Trevor Lawrence to be able to make splash plays and do these different things, but it was just inconsistent. He was missing layups and things like that. Liam Cohen was allowing Trevor to really be himself and play with confidence. And you saw Trevor, before the Denver game say, in the huddle, it used to be a joke. Hey, like if you listen to any of Trevor Lawrence's like pregame speeches, like he's the worst in the league. Like, I'm not motivated to play. Before Denver, he was saying, hey, I don't care what they were saying about Denver's defense. I don't give a shit. We're gonna, score on them. And then against Tennessee in the, to win the AFC champion or the AFC South championship for the division, he was saying, in the sounds of the game, he was saying they were up like 40 points, and there was a clip of him talking to the Tennessee's defense saying, shut up, we're going to score on you again, check out the scoreboard. It's like you would never seen that happen the last couple of years. And that's all from Liam Cohen. And Liam Cohen being so up and down emotionally, Trevor Lawrence kind of just mellows him out and keeps him in check. So I think it's a perfect marriage. And you get the holy trinity. You get the front office, quarterback, and head coach, and that's what 99% of the league is always missing at least one of those things.
100%. Like, the freaking shit show that Washington is, like, with their ownership and everything. And Cohen also unlocked the uses of his legs. That was a big thing. Like, we saw flashes of it in past seasons and everything. And actually seeing him dive instead of sliding, which I am perfectly fine with, compared to what happened against Houston there.
Yeah, that was awful.
But as you said, he has that swagger with him. Steezy Trev is back.
Yeah.
And funny enough, we had a guy on on. Shout out to Colin, by the way. Colin, he used to be run a thing called the Jort Boys here. He was with Happy Dad and a couple other brands.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I've seen him around too.
Yeah,
Is he the guy that has the tattoo on his ass?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, I literally just posted the clip today about it, and he was talking about how he got to show it to him after, I think it was a season or two ago at the bar and everything. Yeah. But like you were saying, he just has that swagger in him now. And I am, as you said, he answered all the questions for me this year. He still does these little stupid interceptions every so often, but that's quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are going to throw, and they're going to also try. But he also made amazing throws down the sideline to BTJ, which I will give some more respect to BTJ as the season went on. I still am about him.
I wouldn't give up on him.
I'm not giving up.
I wouldn't give up on him. He's got a ton of talent, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, you're good. But he also made those amazing sideline catches that kept us in games or actually winning drives and everything.
Yeah.
Parker Washington is also one of my top favorite players this year as well.
My guy.
I love it, bro. And I saw the video of him doing like this is Jungle Beat or the podcast like intro and everything.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool, and he. Do you know where he went to college?
Penn State.
Did he go to Penn State?
Him and Brenton Strange were teammates.
Were they? Okay, yeah. Because I feel like Parker Washington, for me personally, I feel like he kind of came out of nowhere. I remember him doing some run backs and everything.
Yeah.
And then he kind of really showed up a little bit last year, and then he became more of damn near wide receiver 1 this year.
Yeah, Parker Washington's our favorite player on the podcast for sure.
Love it.
Can't say enough good things about him. He's definitely the biggest playmaker, brings the most juice to the team. Him and Brenton Strange had unbelievable seasons because if you really think about it.
Strange is sick as well.
If you really think about it, though, Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram were the go-to guys for Trevor, and there's so much newness going on in this offseason. You kind of worried about like Trevor having to go through 4 different offense coordinators and head coaches and different weapons, and offensive line was in front of him was mixed around. It's like how much newness could he handle and still play well on arguably his biggest year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought Brenton Strange and Parker Washington not only were better than Ingram and Christian Kirk, but also helped settle him down. And you saw both of them kind of be like his go-to guys. More Strange early on, but Parker down towards the stretch.
Yeah, and like even against the Buffalo Bills game, obviously they saw that whole little thing where he got hit in the head. I don't know who signed off on that paperwork.
Roger Goodell was in. We were talking about it on the podcast. We think Roger Goodell was in the blue tent, and we were like, Parker, you're good. Get out there.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that. I'm like, whoever signed off on that paperwork is interesting in my opinion. Is basically, but so a couple more things here for you. So what holes do we need to fill for the Jaguars this offseason?
Oh man, that's $1 million question. So it's tough to say because most years you could pick out probably 4 or 5 and be fine. Yeah, I couldn't argue with that. This year's a little bit tougher. I would point to interior defensive tackle / pass rush in the interior D-line.
Yep.
The reason I say that, it's not me saying it's James Gladstone. He went and tried to get Quinnen Williams from the Jets until before, Jerry Jones threw like multiple first-round picks at him. So I would say they're still trying to find or fill that need. Offensive line play better, and they definitely play better this year. But I still think there's holes, not necessarily a massive hole, but it would be nice to improve at different positions. So if you go through, I think Ezra Cleveland super underrated. I thought Hainsey did a good job being kind of the unsung hero this year.
He was played 4 positions throughout the whole season. It was crazy.
Yeah, Anton Harrison at right tackles there. You got Cole Van Lannon that played all those positions, and then most likely will be your left tackle next year. So I think right guard, if they could find a way to probably upgrade, or they might be in-house, you know what I mean? But it's tough to say. I don't think there's a huge weakness. Now, it also depends who we lose.
That's true as well.
Are you gonna bring back Devin Lloyd? Are you gonna bring back Etienne? Are you gonna bring back Montag Brown had a really good year?
I think Dewey's on contract this year as well.
Yeah, the safety position. Happy for Dewey. He had probably his best season as a Jaguar, but I think you let him walk unless it's like a really good team friendly deal, because Antonio Johnson played great out of nowhere. I wanted him off my team against like the Raiders, but like halfway through the season, and I thought he played well. This season, you got Caleb Ransaw, who was a high draft pick last year. Eric Murray played well at times too. So it's tough to say. I would say interior D tackle, or try to somehow upgrade the offensive line just to continue to help boost that offense.
No, I agree with you 100%. That interior defensive line is kind of what my lean was towards, because watching the Bills game was a very glaring point there.
Yeah.
Because, the real Josh Allen, in my opinion, was making his way through, but nothing in the middle. There was really not as much push as I would have wanted against a team like that, especially as the whole season our defense was making that contact. We were getting the quarterbacks. Obviously, shout out to Buffalo's offensive line. They just held us off for as long as they pretty much could.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo's offensive lines rated, I think I saw like a PFF number before that game, like 4 out of their 5 offensive linemen were number 1 at their position.
Exactly.
So, and they were also throwing a ton of screens. So, like, it's similar to, like, I gave Josh Hines Allen a lot of shit after the Texans collapse in Houston. And then I think Jordan DeLugo had a conversation with him on the podcast and off the podcast about basically why it really wasn't his fault because of how quickly they were getting the ball off, and they're going through a lot of like check downs and things like that. So it's hit or miss. I mean, I think the pass rush in general, if you can get a dominant pass rush in this league and affect quarterback, that's going to fix most of your problems on defense. But I do think, Josh Hines Allen had a really good year. He just didn't get home enough. Trayvon he had a knee, he had a
club
wrist. I mean, it's like he was all over the place. Thought Eric Armstead played better.
Yep.
Now that they moved him inside, used common sense. He's a defensive tackle, not DN. So, yeah, I'm really comfortable with where we're at, though. Like I said before, you can't really pin it on like one glaring hole. There's I think we're pretty good going into next year.
No, I agree. I'm excited for it. And this is a question for you as well, Shannon, since you're good at guessing our records. So what's our record next year, Shannon?
Ooh.
Not me first. I have to think.
Okay, guess first. The other Connor.
I do want to shout out Flash from the Jungle Beat
100%.
podcast. He guessed correctly 13-4.
Did he really?
Before the season started.
Good for him. That was a good call there. I like it.
I did 12 wins, but I was really optimistic, and I thought he was crazy.
That's how we were.
Shout out to Flash. For me, for next year?
Yep. Obviously, I know it comes down to us losing some people maybe over the offseason and everything.
And you also play a first-place schedule, which a lot of people forget. So that means we play the first-place teams in all these other divisions. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say we still have a good season, but we don't win as many games. I say we win 11.
Okay, that's respectable.
I say 11 should win the division as well.
Yeah,
it'll be close.
CJ Stroud, I don't know what's going to happen with him. The Tennessee Titans are going to need time to completely rebuild as well.
Colts don't have a quarterback because the Achilles. I mean, he might be back halfway through the season.
It'll be interesting to see, and maybe Riley Leonard comes out there and can run it up a little bit more. Obviously, Daniel Jones had a crazy season, but no, I think I agree with you. I think the 11 or 12 mark is where I was kind of leaning towards. Obviously, it comes down to maybe some people that we lose in the offseason. I would really hate to lose Lloyd. That would really suck. But at the end of the day, we got to make sure our money is spread to the places that we need it to.
Yeah, I think when you look at, I think we do. Unfortunately, I think Devin Lloyd gets a bag somewhere. I think ETN probably comes back on a team friendly deal, like two-year deal maybe. But I would say this: as far as going into next year, man, I had a really good point and I forgot it. As far as next year, so even if we do lose Devin Lloyd, look at the free agents we have this year. So it's Lloyd, Etienne, and Buster Brown's probably the third biggest one, or most important one. You got to really think, do you want to lose those 3 guys, or do you want to lose the guys that are up for their next extension the following year, which is Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Anton Harrison, and Trayvon? Mm-hmm. It's like, if you want to re-sign any of those, most likely one of those 3, or at least 2 of those 3, you're going to lose one of those 4 that are going to be the following free agency. So I think they might let both of them walk to pay all 4, but we'll see. It'll be interesting.
It will be. I'm not going to let you skip out on this question, Shannon. What's the record next year? 17 games.
So I wanted to be really optimistic.
Okay. Undefeated?
No. But I think a 12 range is more realistic. If I was going to be optimistic, I'd say 15.
Wow.
Okay. And we have some killer games next season. We don't have the exact dates on everything, but I think we have like the Patriots at home next year. I think we have Pittsburgh at home as well. We have some really good games that are going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and it's always tough too because like you don't know, even in the preseason, you're like, oh, I know what these teams are going to do. Like we had the Colts finishing like with an off record, and they were one of the best teams. And so you never know going into these seasons, even right up until it starts. So it's always a crapshoot. You know what I mean? I would like to say 11 because I think we're good enough to at least have we can't have a losing record.
No.
I mean, that's the standard is already raised. Like you have a losing record, that's
the clown
really
faces
bad.
will come back out again.
Yeah. But multiple digit win season should be your expectation.
I like it, man. Now it's going to be a fun season. I'm super excited, and also super excited to keep watching y'all's content and everything.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, man. To say if you guys ever need a guest or anything, be more than happy to come shoot the shit on the pod, man.
Yeah, we should do. We do need to get a sports betting show going on.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have like some sort of collab. For Deegan bets. That'd be cool.
Yeah, man. We're always down, dude. And to say we want to try to connect with everybody as much as possible in town. We love working with local creators here as much as possible. So be super excited. So since it is your first time on the podcast, and next time whenever I have you guys back on again and we have your co-host, I'll ask the same question.
Okay.
So, and this is just a general question. So when it comes to everything that you've had in your life, everything you've done, do you feel successful? And if you do or do not, in what ways?
Oh man, getting deep. I would say not yet. I'd say we're getting towards that comfortability. I always feel like I have a lot to improve on anyways. I feel like I'm pretty hard on myself, but I do feel like we're making progress, and the conversations I'm having and the connections that we're making for Happy Hour Sports and, all the podcasts, like I feel like we're definitely going in the right direction. Once we make this thing what I want it to be, the end goal, bring in all these different creators under one umbrella, like we talked about before the podcast, like little things like that, keep building on sponsorships and things like that. Then maybe I'll give myself a little bit more credit. As of right now, I wouldn't say just yet.
I get it, man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's something to keep striving for, right?
100%.
Yeah. The reason why I do ask that to everybody is it's interesting to see what people count as success. Some people think it's money, fame, their business, whatever it kind of is, and some people it's more material things. Yeah. So it's always interesting to hear what people have to say about that, and that's why it's usually my ending question on that.
It's a good question. I would say this: I'm proud of the direction, like we talked about before, like going from a very safe lane in life that most people would stay in, but deciding to kind of uproot all that just for the sake of peace of mind and mental health and thinking bigger picture and what I want to do. So I am proud of the direction that we are going, or that I'm going. But I would say as far as like successful, like again, those little more steps need to be made before I can fully be confident saying that.
I get that, man. Same way. I say, like my what I feel successful in is like my relationships with people, right? Yeah. So very lucky to have a wife that loves me. Been together for 10 years. Got very close with family, friends, all that, and then just the community that we have here in Jacksonville.
Absolutely.
I always feel that we are supported. Whether it's someone I never will ever meet or some people that I know very closely. It's cool to a lot of times the saying goes, it's not going to be your friends that immediately support you. It's going to be some random guy that you never know. And those are actually the comments that make me smile more than anything, is when someone's like, hey, I watch your show every Saturday. That makes me pretty hyped up.
It couldn't be more of the truth. I mean, I do have, I have friends and family members and a great, girlfriend at home that definitely supports what I'm doing, and all those people are buying into the vision, which is unbelievable. But yeah, for sure, it is. You meet these random, like the dinner I was just coming from, like this guy, I met him in when I got the surfboard signed by Jimmy Smith. I bought like a random $50 ticket at Sportsmania in Jacks Beach to get the surfboard sign. And I wasn't thinking much of it. It was literally like 3 o'clock in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I went there, and it was me and this guy in front of me, Vince from Market Makers. And he somehow we got in a conversation, and he does podcast, and I was telling him about what we're doing, and now he's like basically our business partner.
Hell yeah.
Now he's helping us get other sponsors. He's one of the sponsors, and we're looking at, maybe doing some really big things together. So it's like weird little things, like you said, the random people that you don't expect, but if you put yourself out there, and you believe in yourself and you put it throughout the effort, even, like I said, we started in the studio and then we went to my iPhone, we could have stopped right then, but we decided not to. It's little things like that make the difference.
Oh yeah, man. I tell everybody who wants to start a podcast, I'm like, be prepared. And I was like, and obviously, we have two different setups. Like obviously you guys have your own studio and everything. And I love that. And that's kind of what we're aspiring to do. And the day I make enough money and I can pay an editor, that will be the first thing. Because it's crazy, man, but it is fun. It's a labor of love, and it's something, I worked all day today. I was looking forward to this all day, man.
Nice, man. Yeah, likewise. I think the other thing you got to think about, too, is, like, you got to prepare to be cringe, you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Cringe and put yourself out there and be like, everybody that you grew up with, you're like, well, what are you doing?
Nope.
so it's like it's one of those things where you gotta just stay with it. If it's something that you're having fun with and you believe in and you think you can do something with, anybody has. It doesn't have to be podcast. It can be anything else. I would highly recommend you do that thing that's been in the back of your mind for a while.
Oh yeah, man. We only get one ride on this. Yeah. You might as well, like, if you don't try, how will you ever know what the answer was? So 100% agree with you, man. But before we get out here, let everybody know where they can follow the podcast, Happy Hour Sports, all that kind of, the media company, everything that you got. Please let everybody know. Again,
it's a little confusing, but I'll try to make it simple for you. So Happy Hour Sports Media on Instagram and on YouTube. That's the best spot. If you can go to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe videos, put your stuff in comments, share with a friend. That'd be awesome. If you're a big Jaguars fan, we got a bunch of other, college football, high school football, basketball. We got a lot of different things coming down the pipeline. Go there, follow the Jungle Beat podcast. That's our flagship show, me and Flash are on. Same thing with the Prowler Hour, another Jaguars show. So yeah, any Jaguar diehard fans, come check us out. Promise we won't disappoint.
Yes, sir. And his name is spelled correctly with the O-R. You can't trust the E-R, Connor. So, guys, make sure you guys go like, subscribe, follow. Everything will be linked in the description below. So make sure you guys do all that there. Let them know if you guys are checking them out from the Who Are You podcast. Let them know the Who Are You sent you. We love when everybody is cross-pollinating, getting involved with all of our guests and everything. We love to see the growth of everybody in town. And while you guys are liking, subscribing, and in that kind of mood, make sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe on everything. It's going to be at Who Are You Pod from everything from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all the normal spots on there. Also, check out the YouTube channel. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel as much as we can, especially in 2026. We have some new video ideas, a little bit more maybe day-to-day stuff. Maybe we'll be doing some little blindfold challenges like we did earlier this past year. So we'll see what happens. So it's going to be Who Are You podcast on YouTube or at Who Are You Pod. You guys will be able to find us on there. But like I said, man, thank you so much again, Connor.
Thank you guys for
your
having
time.
me. This is awesome. Yeah,
I appreciate
definitely
it.
got to do it again.
Hell yeah, man. It's an open invite. And next time, like I said, bring Flash, man. We'd love to have him.
Definitely. 100%.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, wifey. I appreciate you always being here. She basically sat here and listened to us. We'll talk about football.
My long-winded, 4-10-minute long answers. So.
Hey.
I like sports and I like learning about them, so it's all good here.
It's all good. It makes for some good clips as well. But like I said, y'all, thank you so much for checking us out, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.